Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100 plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100 plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts.
Hello everyone, a very warm welcome back to all of you in one more impactful session of Learning and Development webinar. My name is Pratibha and I'll be your moderator today. So if at any point you have any question or if you would like to know more regarding the GSDC, please feel free to use the chat box. So I hope you're all ready for today's session. Just allow me a minute to share my screen. Meanwhile, please do let us know from where you guys are watching. We would be happy to know that. So on behalf of the Global Skill Development Council, I'm truly delighted to welcome you all in GSDC Certified Learning and Development Lab, Building Future-Ready Skills, Strong Leaders, and Business Impact, Innovating Learning to Develop Skills, Leaders, and Measurable Results. One of the things which make this webinar so interesting is the amazing expert panel we have lined up for you. Some of them have already delivered a very incredible and insightful sessions, and others are all set to bring in more powerful ideas. So for those who have joined with us for the very first time, let me give you a quick introduction who we are. Global Skill Development Council is a globally recognized certification body. We are accredited by ABICB. Till yet, we have a 250,000 professional certified with us. We are partnered with 100 plus training providers, 1,000 plus multinational companies, and 50 plus universities worldwide. We also have 500 plus subject matter experts across globe with us who help us developing our program. So these are the training partners who are associated with us from the Asia, Africa, Canada, Australia, Nigeria, Singapore, US, UK, and many other regions. So special thanks to all training partners to be associating with us. And a very special thank you to our media partner, WordPress Hub, for covering all of our press releases and event releases. So before starting the session, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that we have launched a very unique platform called GSDC AI Studio, Lifelong Learning Initiative. In GSDC AI Studio, you're going to get 100 plus live monthly sessions with global expert, including 4 daily sessions, 45-minute live expert lead session for hands-on learning, sessions from global expert. Now you can learn directly from our AI leaders around the world. Real-time practice. You can apply concept immediately and get your question answered. Certification ready. You will be getting the training aligned with industry standard for job-ready skills. So currently we are covering 100+ certification in our portfolio, including Learning and Development, HR, Gen AI, Agentic AI, Emerging Technologies, ISO Lead Auditor and Implementer, Project Management and PMO, Agile DevOps and SRE, cybersecurity, digital transformation, and many more. But once you get certified with GSDC, you just don't walk away with certification. You also become a part of our community, which comes with GSDC membership benefit, including lifelong membership, certification upgrade, workshop, boot camps, learning club access, also the full benefit of GSDC AI Studio, and many more. With that, it's time to welcome our today's speaker. Today we have Dr. Raman with us. Dr. Raman is a recognized as Chief Learning Officer of the Year. He is the world's leading authority on the science of speed in professionals' performance. A prolific author of 50 books, holder of two doctorates, and over 100 international credentials. He has delivered research backed strategies that accelerate workplace learning. He is the founder of Get There Faster Labs, providing futuristic executive coaching to CLOs to develop the workforce at the speed of business, known as Powerhouse of Positivity. He has transformed his lifelong physical inability to walk into a unique expertise, teaching readers and organizations how to walk faster towards mastery. Named as Brand's Global 500 leader alongside icons like Oprah Winfrey and one among the most inspiring global Indians of the year. His personal and professional insight have appeared in over 300 media features. And today he is going to lead the session on how to create a learning ecosystem that accelerates employee performance. But before handing over the virtual mic, just a quick reminder, if you have any query regarding the GSDC initiative or if you would like to connect with our speaker today, please feel free to use the chat box. We also have an announcement to make at the end of today's session in which we are going to introduce our next week series of AI, L&D and ISO, and we have planned something new for you. We also have an announcement regarding the $400 Word gift certification voucher. So hang tight till today's end of the session. With that, it's time to welcome Dr. Raman on our platform. Thank you so much, Dr. Raman, coming on our platform. We are very honored to have you here today. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Pratibha. Appreciate. Thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. So why don't we start something? Go ahead and put your name. I think some of you have already started putting your name into the chat. Put your name and your role in L&D so that I understand that where the people are coming from. And if on the way, I could customize my presentation. Go ahead, put your introduction, your name, and what's your role in L&D, what's your profession, what exactly are you serving? That will give me the context. And I'm going to spare my introduction. I think Pratibha did a great job in kind of going in detail. So I'm going to take you guys all to the content directly. Good. All right, teaching and mentoring. All right, there's going to be a section on that one as well. We got people from far off places as well. Great. L&D officer, good. All right, that's good. Keep pouring in. I'm looking at the chat, so it will give me the good context that what are the things that's going to be relevant to you and what not. And today's presentation is less of a presentation. I actually have just a conversation with you guys because some of the things as part of the L&D role, you might not actually be doing. So there are some new concept that's going to come in. So instead of presentation, I'm going to keep it a little bit more conversation oriented. So we're going to today talk about learning ecosystem. And our idea is that if you design the learning ecosystem correctly, you will be able to accelerate your employees' development and performance. And if you see today, the world is moving so fast. And as L&D leader, as the people working in teaching and education, your job is how soon you can develop these people's performance so that they can deliver the business outcomes. And we also know that it doesn't happen just because of training. There are a lot more needs to be done, and that's what we call ecosystem. So I'm gonna, kind of set the ground here that when we say accelerate employee development and performance, simple logic we are putting in play is that time. Time is a very important entity and it's a universal problem. So if we are designing a training, if we're designing an ecosystem, what we need to do is we need to cut the time out from the journey. And that should be our biggest contribution as a L&D leader, as L&D professional, as training designers. So I'm going to kind of start my conversation with this chart. I think it's pretty much familiar to all of you. Very simple chart. If we have employees in our organization, we bring them either from external market or we bring them internally. We provide them new roles and then we give them a certain orientation on onboarding. Why the watch was upside down? That's an interesting question. I'll come to that one. All right. Uh, so we give our employees onboarding and orientation. We give them training and coaching, and then we send them out to field. That okay, now you start doing the job, and hopefully someday they will become really good in their job. And that it takes time from the day they start their job till they become really good in their job. So now, as L&D leaders, not everyone may have the responsibility across these nodes. Some of you might be involved in hiring people, but not all. Many of you might be serving the role where you need to design onboarding or orientation training program. Some of you may be into designing training program, coaching program, mentoring program. Some of you might be designing OJT task list, OJT curriculum, and some of you might actually be looking at how to define the performance. So go ahead, put it in the chat. What, what is your role corresponding to these nodes? Are you doing orientation onboarding program? Are you designing training? Are you involved in coaching? Or are you involved into on-the-job support? So go ahead and put your, what is your current job focus? Put it in here so that I have a little context as we move forward. Yeah, training and coaching. Yep, yep. Okay, training and coaching. Some people have that role as well. So that would require some level of designing. Yeah, good. So if you see that people don't become good just by going through training only or just by going through the on-the-job support, there is a long journey ever since they get hired or put it in a new role, all the way going to become really good. It takes them a lot of nodes. They need to go through a lot of programs. They need to go through a lot of activity. They need to do a lot of things. And it includes a lot of things like upskilling, reskilling. It requires a lot of technology and other pieces. And the time they take, we call it time to performance. We can call it time to certification. We can call it time to proficiency. So different organizations use different words. Okay. So it basically just indicate how much time they're taking to become really good. Now, our goal, when we say that we're going to speed up our employee development and performance, very simple goal we should have is how to cut the time out from that journey. So goal of training is not efficiency, not effectiveness, not just giving them the experience, not just cutting the cost, or not just kind of because now a new cool trend has come in, so hence we gotta offer them some training. The whole goal of putting the training program is cutting the time out. Why? Because time has monetary value. When you cut the time out from employee journey, you make them better in a shorter time. You save money automatically. You make them efficient automatically. You make your training program effective automatically. You give them the experience to produce what job needs them to do automatically. Okay. So the fundamental equation here is cutting the time out if you want to accelerate employee performance. So normally, as L&D leader, as education leader, what is proficient? Okay, uh, proficiency in a simple term is when somebody's performance is number one, consistent, not one time winning, okay, consistent. It's repeatable. That means it's repeatable in any kind of situation. When it's reliable, you can depend upon this person no matter what customer, no matter what where they go, and when they produce to the agreed standard, but not one time, as I said, consistently. So that particular state we call they are fully proficient. Okay. It's a performance, but it's a special kind of performance which is consistent, reliable, repeatable, above standards. Okay. So now we're saying, okay, how do we build a ecosystem? So ecosystem is something beyond training. I know that most of you are possibly serving the role in the training capacity or education capacity. So today I'm going to show you that I did a research with about 85 world-class organizations. And what I understood from them is that training is a small part of bigger equation. Training can only give them the skills to sit on the desk to do some basic tasks. Training does not make people fully proficient. To make people fully proficient, they need more than training. They need a whole entire ecosystem. Okay. And that ecosystem is what we're going to talk about, that how you as L&D leader, as training expert, can actually help create that ecosystem. This may not be your primary job to, to do the corporate wide ecosystem, but I'm going to give you some tips. Okay. So what is ecosystem? Uh, Before I open up what is ecosystem, I think our biggest problem today, and mostly in HR, in L&D, is this, that we have begun to treat the people like as if we're managing resources or things. And that's a traditional HR language. Human are resources. So when we say resources, that means now we put some mathematical models on them. So they become things. They become things just like machine. They become things like infrastructure. They become things like any other thing that we measure, where we invest money. So that, I think, philosophy has not really gone very well, because we do not develop things. We develop human. So now what we are saying is, let's take humans as developing humans in organization as nurturing our kids. So many of you have kids, right? Go ahead, put it in the chat. Who among you have kids and have the experience raising great kids? So when we raise our kids, we cannot raise they just by teaching them. We nurture them by giving them a environment. We give them exposure. We give them a lot of other things in addition to teaching from you as parents or from teachers. Just teaching doesn't make kids great, correct? There is a whole lot thing that you need to set up at your home, which include environment and a lot of other things. So what we're saying is, the employees and human in organization should be nurtured just like kids, rather than being seen as resources or things. So when we start thinking employees, how to nurture them, how to nurture their development, how to nurture their performance, how to nurture their learning, then conversation become different. And that conversation become is, who surrounds them. Just the way, kids at home are surrounded by their sibling. They're surrounded by you as parents. They're surrounded by grandparents. And you're very careful who is around your kid, because you know that that particular thing or that particular person is going to influence your kid's development. Same way, an employee, we call it performer, is surrounded by certain elements. And the collection of those elements we call ecosystem. So who are the people in ecosystem? There's obviously a job environment. Okay, job environment has a lot many things, but let's keep it simple. Job environment, whichever way you understand job environment, I don't have any issue with the definition. So just think that way. Job environment is one component of that ecosystem. Peers, people who are working with you. So put yourself in the shoes of the performer. Think, because you are also an employee in some organization. So when you are an employee, your peers are important part of your ecosystem. Then people who are expert, who are SME, subject matter experts, who are surrounding you, who you interact with, they are an important part of ecosystem too. Then you have coaches or mentors. They have a lot of influence on you in regards to how you're gonna shape up, how you're gonna develop yourself. Then we also have a manager. Who's your manager? How they are treating you, how they handle you, how they give you the assignment. So they are an important part of ecosystem. But then one part, very important component which we don't generally think are technologies, performance support system. For example, when you go to job, your employer give you a laptop. And if you don't have a good laptop, there's a likely chance you may not be able to deliver lots of tasks. So those technologies, those network, those teams, apps, everything what they give you is performance support system to help you do the job. That also matters. Same way, the way you entertain your kid, the kind of toys you give to your kid, that is part of the ecosystem. And you're very careful what kind of toys you're going to give to your kid when you're nurturing them. Same way, performance support systems are part of the ecosystem. So these six elements that surround an employee is called ecosystem. Okay. This is another view of ecosystem, and I call it speed enabling ecosystem. So in my view, we have to stop looking at individual training events and we have to look at it how all these six elements interact with each other to develop the performance of employees. Manager is obviously an architect and driver. Peers have to be connected to you, but it shouldn't be just for gossip. It has to be a purpose driven connectivity. What do you really need from your peers in order to improve your performance? And when I say you, I mean employees. Okay. And these are the employees who could be the end user of your training programs. Okay. Coaching, structured goal oriented coaching, SMAs, performance support system, and environment. I'll expand each of these things in the following slide. I won't expand it here. Okay, so stay with me on this. So this is a kind of simple view of the ecosystem. So we call it speed enabling proficiency ecosystem. We say that uh, we need to build an ecosystem which overall nurture the performance of people, not just teach them how to do tasks, because teaching them how to do tasks are the skills which is generally the scope of a training program. But that's not going to serve our purpose if we want to make our employees really good, really proficient. So then we say, okay, as the L&D leader, you need to go from that mold away from thinking about giving a task-oriented training. Now you need to think bigger, that how you can totally transform the performance and development of your employees who come to your training classes. That also means your uh, some of your roles are going to change, but you certainly have certain fixed role in your organization. I'm going to give you some tips that how you can expand, how you can get enter into each of these areas. Okay, so let's first talk about peers. Okay, I'm going to purposely talk about managers at the end. So let me kind of share with you, peers are very important in organization. You, me, or anybody or people who come to your training programs, they don't work in isolation, correct? They work with each other. So when they have a problem, what do? They look at a person in the next cubicle and ask them, hey, buddy, I got stuck here. What do I do? How do I solve this? So there's a lot of informal learning that happens on the go in the workplace. And most of the time, we don't actually channelize it. Okay. We don't actually really look at that. How do we agree to leverage it? A lot of interactions happen in the workplace. The people talk to each other. They go with each other for tea or lunch or something. There are a lot of time they talk about their problem, that I can't solve this problem. I can't get the handle on this one, or I'm new to this job. How do I do this? So they try to build their own network in their own interest. So people's skill set is different in building their network. Some are good, some are very shy, they stay in the background. So now what happens is some of these people who are good with building the connection, they reach out to the people who know the secret of doing certain tasks, but other people stay behind. But that's not what you're going to do as a leader. So, as a leader, your number one question is okay, we understand that these people learn from each other, from social experiences by interacting with each other, how we can use that as part of the training program. So, tips for you how you can do that one is there are two keywords here. One is purpose driven social connectivity, and second is structured informal learning. Okay, so how you can put it in play is that when these guys join a training program, we can use certain platform like Teams. We can specifically create a channel for them for the attendees of a given program so that they actually connect with each other. By doing that one, we are giving them a place where they can interact with each other in a structural fashion. Number two, what we do is we give them the training assignment inside the training program or outside the training program where they are supposed to go with a buddy, where they are actually going to go into the field, but just with a partner. Remember that in the police academy, when they deploy their police cadets, they don't deploy the cadets individually. They always do a partner. I mean, that means there always be two cadets that will go for a patrol or anything. Okay, so that buddy system is what you need to implement. That how you can build the pairing of your people, and in some cases can be pairing, in some cases can be grouping. And when you give them group assignment, which they need to do outside the boundary of the training program, where they need to go to the field, there could be, for example, in a negotiation course, the assignment could be these three people are going to go have an interview with the director of supply chain and ask them that how they negotiate with the vendors. So that can be a case study, which is leveraging purpose-driven social connectivity. So while they are doing this one, they are kind of building their network together and building a network with the rest of the people. But these need to be thought out very strategically. Why would you want these people to go and interview the director of supply chain? Because you are teaching a training course on supply chain. So then that you build that one purpose-driven social connectivity in your training program. And while these guys interact with each other, you are putting a structure around this because now you give them an assignment. You are telling them that, okay, you put your reflection together and see that what did you learn out of this one. So this is how you can build the peer. But again, as a training professional, you can build this kind of connectivity with the attendees who are attending the training program. Plus, you can design certain activities which allow them to interact with the people who are not attending your training program, who already attended long ago. And then you say, okay, you're going to meet a senior peer and you're going to ask three questions. And after three questions, you come together and collate your answer and tell us that how the things are actually happening in the field as opposed to how we are teaching you in the training program. So that's the crux of how you bring peer aspect of ecosystem into your training programs. Okay, so some of the company they keep doing this one. uh, One of the organization they basically sponsor a pizza fridays. So the idea of pizza fridays is that where they gather all the new people together and then they invite some of the high performers who already have kind of done that job. So they come in, they talk about their job and challenges, and that's where these people who just joined a job get a chance to ask questions that how did you solve this problem, how did you really address this kind of customer. So they do a lot of participatory or group or collective learning through those kind of interaction. So pizza here is just symbolic. That pizza can exist on Teams. It can be a Teams channel. It can be another place where you can create a space for these people to interact. But idea is not just go and chat with each other. No, give them a purpose, give them a goal, give them an outcome that they need to achieve and report back. And as far as the second element is concerned, that was about create a learning network where they can interact with each other and immerse with each other. Now I'm not going to go into this one, but there are a lot of different entities you can use. You can use performers clubs, you can create thematic groups, you can create community of practice. But many of you say, Raman, this is outside my domain. Yes, agreed. A lot of these things may be outside the domain, but here is the tip for you. Get these things created before your training programs get started, and make sure that you leverage all these network, performance club, and thematic group as some sort of assignment into your training program. That's then only you will be able to build a purpose-driven, goal-directed, specific outcome, a structured social connectivity, and informal learning, leveraging all the peers that surround a performer. I'm going to take to the second point, which is coaches. Now, not everything can be covered in training. You all know that there are certain tasks these guys have to learn in the field. For that one, they have to go to some coaches. But most of the time, the coaching in the organization is like this: go and sit with Jim, ask him how he's doing it. And if Jim is not available, then go and sit with Tom. So now what you do is put these people at the mercy of Jim and Tom. There is no consistent. Jim is going to be teaching in his own way, and Tom is going to be teaching in his own way. So this is where you need to institute the coaching and mentorship in a very structured fashion. Okay, part of that one is very important: right mentor for the right employee. If employee already comes with a great experience with a lot of exposure, maybe the scale of the mentor that's going to be matched with him is going to be different. But very important piece of that one is, in many cases, coaching that is provided is kind of unstructured, on the go, on demand, whenever it is needed, sort of. But you need to come up with the proper outcome that, okay, here is the coaching process. Here is the first interview that must happen between coach and coachee. This is what they should be kind of delivering. These are the qualification of the coach. Now, how you can, many of you might say, "Hi, Raman, this is outside the standard training program delivery. If your job is to design training program, you might think that it is outside your domain. But what you can do is you can take your corporate coaching process, you can get the alignment with the people that, okay, what is our philosophy for coaching? Is there any structured process in the coaching that people are going to follow when they go out of my training program? If you find one, I recommend take that coaching program, coaching structure, coaching curriculum, bring that into training. And in the training, you train your people to follow how to be a good coachee. Because many times you can have great coaches, but new people may not even know what question to ask. They may not even know how they want to be coached, how they want to be mentored. So that's where you can add lots of role play activities following the same coaching structure which they're going to follow. So role play, put as one of the attendees as a coach, put another attendee as a coachee, and then reverse their role and give them an Excel sheet, a checklist that when you are a coach, you're going to tick mark these things. When you are coaching, you're going to tick mark these things. So by doing that, you actually give them an idea what's the right way to get coached. So that way, when they go out to the right coach out in the field, they know how to make it purpose driven, how to keep it structured. So it has to match certain specific goals. Coaching should not be just up in the air. Okay. So now, obviously, consideration, as I said, is that kind of coach selection is very important. And it's very important for companies to give them the coaching tools. Many of the companies don't even train their coaches. Okay. So if you feel as a training a professional that there is no coaching structure, nothing is going to stop you from putting it together. Why not you put together a framework, create a course called How to Be a Great Coach? And that's maybe the way you can kind of instill a coaching culture in your organization. And that's how your ecosystem will start becoming more robust for new people who come out of your training. Ideally, when they come from your training program, they should already know what is your standard coaching process in the company, which you are going to replicate in your training programs. Okay. And obviously, there has to be an incentive for coaches. Otherwise, people don't get motivated. So in many companies, what they are doing is they are giving a specific designation to coaches, specific certification which they can share on their LinkedIn, which they can share with the signing of badges. So now imagine that if you are an employee working in a Fortune 500 company and they give you a badge that you are an accredited coach for such a 500 Fortune 500 company. So now it become marketable for you. You can put it on your resume. So those kind of incentives are very important to really give to our coaches. And one piece here I iterated, coaching should not be task oriented. Many times we do a mistake that we engage coaches to deliver task based coaching to the coaches. That wouldn't work very well. What you need to do is you need to make sure that coaching is delivered to the business outcome. The business outcome which this employee is responsible to deliver, coach is going to need to teach him how to do this. If let's say that the job of this employee is to win a sales with high net worth clients, then the coach must be somebody who's really good with influencing the high net worth clients. That guy should not be just an ordinary salesperson. That person had to have a deeper experience working with some of the great high net worth clients. And then this person should be able to take him to the final outcome to actually do a one cycle of a high net worth sale. So that's very important rather than teaching them making presentation or teaching them certain skill. The coach must teach them to the outcome. That's what I call here proficiency goals. Okay. So next element is SMEs. So who are the SMEs in an ecosystem? SMEs are actually very important. In every company, there are experts. There are some great guys who have done great work, great experience, and everybody look toward them that, okay, if we got stuck somewhere, these are the people who can help us. These are people who know a lot. These people do not necessarily need to be your directors or vice president or somebody. These are the people who are specialists, who have deeply gone into certain tasks, certain skill, or certain function. Now, many organizations, they don't use them. They leave those experts as an expert, but they don't really connect the bridge between new employees and their experts or SMEs. Many times these new employees will go and find them themselves, but that's not the way. These people need to be engaged. So what are the different ways that you could engage and leverage the pool of expert? As training professional, number one you can do is you can engage these SMEs or expert as guest instructors in your training program. You can look at which particular module this person can speak for 30 minutes, which nobody else in the company can speak. Put that in their calendar, engage them, engage with their manager, make sure that they are identified and put it in the roster and engage them. When you bring such kind of highly expert in your training program, your new employees are going to feel proud that you are bringing the right expertise at the right time. That's number one. Many of these SMEs could be know a lot of things which they can act as coach. But problem with these experts sometimes can be if you give them a longer assignment like 6 months of coaching somebody may not work. But if you give them, I'm going to send you a person, can you just spend 60 minutes with this person on this particular learning outcome? They can gladly do it because now you're giving them very targeted learning outcome, what you want out of these SMEs or experts. You are not putting them into a situation where they don't know what to do. Because most of the time, these experts, when they become expert, their biggest problem happens is how do I share my knowledge? Because for some weird reason, when expert become expert, they forget how what kind of mindset they were in when they were beginner, when they were novice, when they didn't know everything. So many times these experts talk at a frequency which new people may not understand. But when you narrow it down, scope it down, I want you to just deliver 30 minutes lecture in my next series, or I want you to set up a 30 minutes Zoom session with this person. Here is the topic. Then you can leverage these people big time. Other ways you can leverage them in, you can get them to review your training curriculum. You can get them to check your OJT checklist. You can ask them that my assessment, do you think I'm asking them the right kind of case study which you guys typically solve in the job? So that way you can leverage them strategically. And today, right now, we are kind of doing a lot of upskilling, reskilling on AI. Not everyone in your organization knows AI. There are only few itsy bitsy experts who know AI in and out, and that's where you can bring them in, and then you can basically kind of bring in play and have them leverage their time strategically. Okay, is my screen still being shared? Okay, seems like it's
Yes,
still
it
being
is
shared.
still being shared.
Okay, perfect. All right. So here I have listed some of those, functions. You can use these guys for knowledge sharing. Even some of the SMEs I can tell you is great for making videos. You can ask them, can you just come on a Zoom call with me for 30 minutes? I'll ask you some question. I'll record the video, and that video I'm going to use in my training program. So now you can have lots of video nuggets. You can slice those nuggets into small videos, which you can use as part of your curriculum overall. Okay, so that way your training program become experience rich. But you can use them as assessor, consultant, reviewer, trainer also. In many cases, these guys can be great trainer, but they may not have great training skills. But as I said, when the topic is extremely technical where they need to deliver the knowledge, you can scope it down, leverage them as a stand-in trainer, and that's how you can use this component of a ecosystem as part of your training programs. Okay. The fourth element, I'm gonna go quickly. I'm gonna keep some time for question and answer. That's why I'm kind of running through this one quickly. I know that there are gonna be a lot of questions. So now, if in today's world, if you see, technologies are the heart. It's the centerpiece. Technologies are the one which is basically all job, environment, peers, team member, coaches, everything is surrounded by performance support system because everybody is using technologies. Okay. So this is a different view that how technologies are kind of, centerpiece. So performance support system, you guys know very well. The performance support system is anything which help employees do their work in the workflow. Okay. But problem is this one that many time you teach a training program, you create a training program, you teach them certain skills, but you leave knowing about the performance support system or software they're going to use in the field to another trainer, or it is outside the training program scope. You tell them that, okay, you're going to go to a different training program. There you're going to learn that tool, and then you can use it for the job. So that's where the problem happens. For example, let's say that financial analyst. A financial analyst's job is to look at the financial trends, expenses, and based on those trends, advise the board members that what decision they should make for cost cutting. But what happens in reality? When they come to training program, we teach them Excel, we teach them trend, we teach them charts, we teach them a lot of financial things, but we forget teaching them something that how they're going to use the dashboard which a company is already using and use that dashboard live in front of board members and explain the decision or guide their decision. So very important this one is when we use technology, we need to use this technology in context. So what it means is that when you are designing the training program, you need to look at it, which tool, which technology, which performance support system these employees are going to be using after the training program. Bring that performance support system as the main thing in your training program. Make sure they become good with that performance support system. Make sure they do the job, they demonstrate the task and skills using that performance support system. Okay, rather than dealing it as an external item. Okay, so there are many different kind of performance support system. It varies from depending on what business you might have. So, but fundamental thing is that these days performance support system are basically on demand. On demand mean AI agent. is a performance support system because it's helping you perform something, but it is part of the workflow now. Okay, you use the performance support system when you need it, and that means you also need to learn it when you use it. So same philosophy need to happen in the training program. In the training program, you need to insert that use of those performance support system, that how they're gonna do the job. Okay, if let's say that as I was saying, a performance the financial analyst, a financial analyst is free to go and use any kind of AI agent to do their job, then your focus should not be teaching them just pure Excel based training. It should actually be based on how they can automate their job functions and go and perform and produce the output they're going to produce for their job. Okay. So the idea of performance support system is get the content, get the information, get that particular skill in the workflow in a way that people wouldn't even feel that they are standing up from their desk and going somewhere else to do something else. It should be part of their workflow on day to day. And that's very important. And but this won't happen if you don't integrate that performance support system in your curriculum. That means part of your curriculum, you have to make sure that the performance support system your organization is using is being used in the training organization. So now what kind of performance support system you might have? There could be many different kind of performance support. Could be AI search, could be even communicators. Okay. LMS is also a performance support system because that's where they go and search for a course, online course, which they can take instantly. There are a lot of AR or VR related headset or videos. That those are also the performance support system. Many times they can do a lot of things on the phone, that's with using apps. That's also performance support system. Okay, they can create report, they can create manage their project while they're working. So all those things are performance support system. So part of that one, you need to really understand what performance support system your organization is using, whether you have integrated that into training program or not. So for example, these days most organizations, technical organizations mainly, they are using lots of augmented reality hand-free sets where they're teaching their employees how to repair certain machines. So now, if employee have to repair a machine using these kind of tools, that means your training should not be on repairing the machine alone. Your training has to be on how to repair the machine using these gadgets. There are a lot of different kind of technology now. The mobile phone are there, which we can also use an augmented reality. Uh, Now these things can basically invite a lot of people to see what employees doing, particularly when they're troubleshooting complex machines like lifts, escalators. When they get stuck, many times they have an expert on the call who can see through the videos what is happening. Those are specialized gadgets where they can pinpoint what's really wrong with these machines without somebody having to fly down. But then you can consult multiple experts at the same time and bring their collective wisdom into play. But how you can leverage that one into training? You need to teach these protocols, these case studies in your training program, and that become on demand, on the go coaching for these people. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one. So next element of the ecosystem is environment. So environment is sometimes very kind of subjective. It's not very easy to define. But we know that whatever is surrounding the employees in form of culture, in form of interaction, in form of events, all that form the environment. And environment has to be enabling. That means there has to be good amount of resources, processes in play. If you don't give your employee the right kind of resources, they won't be able to do the work. And it must be realistic. Realistic in the sense it must address the limiting factor. If you have an engineer whose job is to process 3D models, you can't give him the normal average laptop. You need to give him the state of the art laptop with a great processing power. So what you're doing is you are addressing the limiting factor that could limit their performance. And you obviously need to give them supportive quality of management service. I'll come to that one. Not many people talk about that. We talk about giving them good manager, but what we forget that quality of management service the manager is going to offer to their employee is one of the biggest piece of environment. And now the question will come is that, Raman, if I'm the training guy, if my job is to deliver training, design training, to take care of the education, this environment is not in my control. The answer is yeah, it is not in your control. But you know the environment. You know what kind of environment these guys are going to work. For example, let's say that if your business is semiconductor industry, you know that this engineer, this employee is going to go to the customer site and you know that he is going to face one of the biggest and the most challenging customers who are making $1 million business for your company. If one error this person is going to do there, it's going to put our business at risk. So now you know the environment this person is working is pressure driven. Environment is communication driven. The environment is time driven. The environment is accuracy driven. So now you have understand and map the environment as a training person, how you can replicate those kind of things in your training program. So in your training program, you have to put some case studies, put some simulation, which can reflect that level of realistic environment. If let's say that the environment in your company is that most of the people go to make a sales pitch in groups, so then there's a lot of groupism that's going to be going on. If that kind of collaborations happens, then why not build some case studies in your program where people have to form a group and come up with something. They need to demonstrate something. So your case study, your simulation need to reflect what environment these employees are going to work. Many time as training professional, you guys ask for lots of requirement from your the direct manager. What exactly, why do you need training? What exactly should be covered in the training? But you most of the time forget one thing: what kind of environment they are going to be working and delivering this task or business outcome. And that's why you tend to make your training program too safe. You say, oh, this is a safe place to learn, let's have fun here. But when they go out in the job, they don't have any fun. They are facing the toughest challenges, toughest customers. So why don't you build that level of toughness and challenge into your training program? Give them the give them the feel how it's gonna be, what it is gonna mean to deliver that job. Okay, so that's that environment piece you can build into your training program. That's how you can build that ecosystem component as a training leader. Okay. So, as I said, management service is the biggest component of environment because management is responsible for the environment. Who create environment? Managers and directors and everybody in the management chain. So manager has a biggest impact on the quality of management service. So most of the time, the manager, what they give to their employees, they give instructions, they give supervision, they manage, but they don't give management service. So management service is basically what do they offer employees in return of employees' performance. Okay. So this has a huge impact on accelerating the employee development. And that part I'm going to come here. That's the last piece of the ecosystem manager. Okay. So when I was doing my research, one wise leader told me, say, Raman, if you look at the ecosystem, in reality, manager is the centerpiece. If manager is not there, subject matter expert, coach, peer, job environment, performance support system, nothing is going to work if you don't put the right manager with the right behavior, with the right attitude. Okay, so that's very important piece of the ecosystem manager. So the research I was talking about, that I did a research with the 85 organization, and the organization who were actually able to accelerate the development and performance of their employee, most of their managers had very common set of behaviors. And we believe those behaviors are important for an ecosystem. The why we say so, if let's say that we have all the factor equal, we take two teams, all the factors are equal. Okay. Every single, their salaries are equal, their experience is equal, they're doing same kind of projects, they got same kind of environment, they got same kind of seats, they got same kind of benefits and everything. If all the factors are equal, managers will either make or break. Both teams will still perform differently just because they had different managers, despite everything same in the company. So managers actually play biggest enabler and actually sometimes the biggest disabler. Many time employees cannot come up to speed mainly because of managers. Manager act as a blocker. Okay, I'll share with you why they are blocker, but I will give you time to read here. This is one of the observation from my research, so I put that quote as it is. I'll read it out for you. Managers need to understand that they can put people through good training courses, but when manager express your support, coaching, and reinforcement to employees before, during, and after the training, when they're accountable for their development and that provide them supportive and realistic environment, that's when you get the development speed. That's when the people become proficient faster. Okay, so it's manager's job. Now you say, okay, Raman, if it is manager's job, I don't have any control on people's manager. They don't ask me. They don't come to me. They don't report to me. So I don't have enough opportunity to influence the managers. Let me show you some tips of how you can actually influence that. Okay. So there are three behaviors that we think managers have to have, which is very important and which we have seen in lots of organizations. Many of the organizations which I interviewed, what we found is this, that before they send their employees for training, they actually get involved even before training. They get involved in need assessment. They talk to the trainer, they talk to the training manager, they talk to the people that, okay, what exactly you're going to put it in training, how the curriculum looks like. So they basically get full involvement in the training. They actually specify, hey, this is the reason why I need training for my employee, and this is how I want training to be delivered. These are my business goals, which I want them to be able to deliver. And this is the environment they're going to be working with. So this deeper involvement from the managers is very important. So that means you have to kind of set a process where manager is not just sending you an intake form that, okay, my guy need a training. You're gonna need to say, okay, all right, can I have you 30 minutes? So that 30 minutes interview with every manager who's requesting becomes the norm, that unless you give me 30 minutes, unless you explain your perspective, why you need training and what exactly you're expecting, we're not going to be able to put your person in the training program. So when you put that kind of milestone, that a kind of check mark, as checkpoint, sorry, that the person is not going to get to the training program unless manager says, I'm going to take my 30 minutes, I'm going to talk to you why I need this one. They will take it seriously. They will know that you mean business and you will make them feel they should also mean business. So involvement in training. So most of the managers we have seen who actually are able to exceed their employees' performance, they are the one who take a deep interest in the training of their employees. There are many managers who basically think trainers are magician. I will send my guy into a training program, and some that trainer got some magic wand, and this guy who's going to come out of training is going to be a great employee right on the day one. But that doesn't happen, right? You know that development is a process. You can only train them certain skills. Remaining job is of managers, how they really coach them moving forward. Okay. But that's a very important piece. When they go out of training, you need to be sure that do they even take the accountability in their development? I mean, you have trained them in certain way. Are they even giving them that kind of assignment and projects? And that's where those 30 minutes are very important, where you say, okay, I'm going to get your person into a training program. After the training program, these are the three different kind of assignment you need to assign. If you don't assign, he's not going to be able to apply what we are going to be teaching. In many cases, managers deal with their employees like this. You go to training, you attend and come back, I'll tell you what to do. And when they come back from training, some managers, they tell their employee, oh, what they taught you in the training, forget that one. That's not how we do the business. That was just for meant for compliance purposes. I'm going to teach you now how you're going to be doing it. And they contradict everything that is taught in the training. And then they build their assignments and project that way. So now, the employee get confused that I wasted my time in the training. I'm not going to be using all or any of those skills. And you feel proud that you gave a great training, but employee, on the other hand, feel that my manager doesn't even think it has any value. So there's a big disconnect there. So you need to make sure that these managers understand what you're teaching them is exactly what they are implementing in the field, or that's how manager expect it to be done. So their accountability is very important. They need to sign off that yes, I'm gonna be providing this kind of a support to the employee once he comes out of the training. Yeah, of course. The ecosystem is certainly set up by the employers. So the presentation today I'm giving you is that as a training person, as a L&D person, as the person who is responsible for development of people or education of people, how you can influence the ecosystem or how you can leverage the component of the ecosystem into your training programs or how you can make it work. Okay. So third element in the behavior, manager behavior is support. We talked about it's manager's job. That's what is going to create a difference. That how they build an enabling, supportive, and realistic environment. Meaning, even a simple thing when the people come out of training program, asking them, "Hey, how was the training? Okay, so what are the three lessons you learned? You think you're going to be applying immediately?" The employee will tell, okay, I've learned this and this. I think I'm going to have these challenges. So the manager say, okay, what kind of support I can provide you that will help you uh, address those challenges with which you can apply everything what you have learned. So then employee say, okay, these are the three challenges. How this is where you can help me. So now the conversation become very supportive. Employee feel that okay, first by sending me to the training program, manager had demonstrated great behavior. Now he's giving great behaviors by supporting me. In fact, many of the organizations which I know, they they have this requirement in play that first day, first half day of the training program. If let's say that the employee is supposed to go through a 3-day training, they insist that that employee's manager must sit for first half day of the training program with the employee, attend the same training class. I know it's very painful. I just say, wait a second, this is never going to happen in my organization. But that's where when employee sees his manager sitting on the next seat, and I say, wow, my manager is there. He takes my training so serious. He wants to make me successful. That's when employees say, now it's my job to make sure that I deliver what my manager is expecting from me. But that manager cannot be the hands of, hey, I set up your training program. You go meet such and such trainer. He's going to tell you what to do. Most of the managers act that way. And when managers act that way, people don't develop faster. And those who develop faster and those whose performance is accelerated, what happens, guess? Within 2 years, they find another company because they are self-learner. They learned everything by, facing the fire. Nobody supported them. They figured out a way. They learned it. They figured out the new technology. Now they learned enough. They don't want to stay with your company. They go somewhere else. On the other hand, if the manager is sitting with the employee half a day, employee feel that manager want to understand what's my pain. He wants to understand how difficult this training is. And he is there to help me and support me, give me all resources, and he understands the environment in which I'm going to work. And that kind of partnership is very important. And how you can make it work? By having a 30 minutes meeting with the manager, making sure the expectations are aligned, and then you ask the manager once he goes out of the training program, what exactly you're going to do, how you going to assign him the program, how you going to assign him the project, how you going to give him the environment. One of the things we learned in our research is this: we have performance reviews, right, mbos, and it will be very interesting for you as training people that when you have interview with your manager, with these employees managers, you ask them what is their MBOs, and you will be actually surprised the MBOs of these new employees who you're training. Their MBOs have nothing to do with what you are training in the training program. That means you are training them on doing certain things, and those things are nowhere in the performance objectives. How do you think they're actually going to perform? That means manager is never going to put any resources in play because that's not even the MBO. So this is where you need to ask the manager. The training program I have put it in play, it's on sales. Tell me what are the objective that looks like for this employee from a sales perspective, what exactly he's going to be need to deliver. Okay, so this is very important component here. Okay, so in summary, I talked about 6 components that you need to strategically leverage these components, put certain pieces into your training program. That how do you build the opportunity for purpose driven social connectivity and structured informal learning? How do you engage the coaches? Maybe you build your coaching sessions in a very structured fashion. Some part of the coaching happen within the training, some part happen outside the training, but in many cases your training program itself may be 100% coaching, no classroom training. Okay, that is also possible, but then that need to be set up that way. You can leverage your SMEs for strategically. You can deploy your on demand performance support system. You can embed in the learning so that people learn through performance support system. And then environment need to be enabling and supporting, and that you can replicate the environment in your training program with case studies and simulation. And most importantly, you need to make sure the manager of these employees is lined up, their involvement, their accountability, their support and reinforcement, everything is in play. Okay, so these are the 6 component of an ecosystem, what we call learning ecosystem. And if you see out of all these 6 elements, there is nothing called training, but still it is a learning ecosystem because we learn in an ecosystem. But most of the time when we design our training program, we don't design learning ecosystem, and that's why most of the time learning is not effective, and we then start putting some ROI models in play to figure out what was the effectiveness of training. Training will never be effective unless ecosystem is in play. It is just like this. You can keep sending your kid to an international school, but if you don't give your kid an ecosystem, your kid is never going to become a great person in life. Why? Because you missed on important thing. What is going to learn from sibling? What is going to learn from grandmother, father? What is going to learn from you? What is going to learn from friends around? What is going to learn from community? So that nurturing that happened for the kid that makes him great is the reason why your parenting is great, why they shine up faster, they become good in whichever profession they take in future. Same way with employees. Training alone is not going to transform them. Okay, you need an ecosystem. So this this is my last slide. This is my contact information. In case you guys want to connect with me on LinkedIn or any of the social media, feel free, send me an invite. And there are some of the books I have written which are talking more from a different aspect of ecosystem. You can get a great amount of deal in terms of education, in terms of taking it to the next level, that how you can get deeper into this ecosystem concept and concept of proficiency. You can look for this, that I think this QR code probably is for Amazon link of my books. You can scan it and check. I forgot what link is that one, but otherwise feel free to connect with me on any of the social media platform. So that's pretty much I have for you today, and I can open up the stage for questions and answers.
So, first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Raman, for the amazing and insightful session. I'm sure our participants have learned a lot today. So, the participant floor is officially open for question and answer. So, if you have any question, please feel free to use the chat. So, we have first question from Saroj. There are situations where a training is done with participants across various functions, and in that case, manager usually has no control then nominate. How to handle such situations proficiently?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, I think this is a normal situation now. Teams are dispersed globally in different countries. They don't sit face to face with each other. But that's actually a good thing. Good thing in the sense that mean now the geographically dispersed team you can bring in the one Zoom session. So now what you can do is in some of the companies we have done it even this way, that we have actually told the trainers, those who actually going to deliver the training program or the person who is responsible for training program, we told them, why don't you go ahead and set up 30-minute session, invite all the employees reporting to a particular manager, or invite all the employees who are going to be in your program, plus invite the managers mandatory. So now you have a session where you talk about, hey guys, I'm going to be talking about this and this. Manager, please point out how you're going to be managing these learning outcome, how you're going to be managing their projects. So now you open up a forum with a bilateral discussion where new employees also get to hear from the manager how they view the performance, and as a trainer or a training specialist you also get to hear. So this is very important that um, even if the managers are kind of just nominating, building this introductory call can be part of the training program or training session itself. How it can be part of the training session itself? When pandemic happened, remember that we nobody was able to travel. So we what we did is we converted all our instructor led in-person classes into online. And now, since all the classes were being delivered via Zoom, so what we did is we said that we are going to give the orientation to the managers, because manager didn't know now that after these people come out of their online training classes, are they going to be any better like other people the way they used to be? So now what we did is we say, okay, this 1 hour of the training session is where the manager must come in the training session and attend. So when you build that kind of thing as part of the curriculum and make it mandatory, they're gonna come. They're just not gonna nominate their people. Okay.
Thank you so much for the amazing and insightful answer. So, as participant, we are running out of the time. So, I'll have a last question of the today, and then I'm going to share Dr. Raman's LinkedIn ID into the chat so that you can connect with him directly for any kind of query and any kind of guidance. So, how to handle Mamta has a question that how to handle situation where participants are pro learning and eager, but the managers and leaders are not, and also they not learns themselves, lack most of the skill. This is the question of the youngster who are far better.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a challenge. I think this challenge is going to stay for years to come, because now we are at a what is called inflection point where our millennium versus Gen Z, and we are getting into Gen Alpha and so forth over the next 5 to 10 years. This is going to be a big challenge where the managers who are currently manager are going to be a little bit outdated. Their skills are going to be outdated, and it's going to be a big problem. And I think here, uh, the participant is going to be more eager than their managers. That is a big issue at this point of time. This is where I think you need to redesign your intake form. Intake form, what I mean by intake form is the form which these managers or leader need to send to you to justify why they need training for these people. Okay, and this is where I think what you need to do is you need to make sure that you make it a little bit harder for these people to be able to request training program for their people. They need to be able to justify why these people need training, what skill they need, so that they can do a little bit of a retrospection that whether they are there in terms of their own skill coaching these new people or not. That is very important. And I think this particular challenge you might not be able to completely eliminate, because look at this one. We are talking about generations, and we're talking about generational gap. Even though in theory HR would say that gap is, we have a different kind of strategies to you kind of narrow down that gap. That gap cannot be truly narrowed down. Okay, so I think your training program needs to be designed for the next generation, but how you need to tell these people who are already in charge, managers and leader, that how you're going to deliver these skills to these people and what's their role in developing these people after they come out of training. That part is a tough one. I don't have a easy recipe for that one, but I think part of that one is how they request the training, the intake form they send, that needs to be redesigned so that they are put into a reflective mode. For example, in my organization, we have a form where we ask these people that, okay, why do you need this many people? What is your business goal? What are your business outcome? And please justify why you need to train these people. Many times these people take many days to even justify that one. And when we put them hard into that reflective mode, then they get to understand that there is a gap and they come into learning more to understand. Perhaps they also need to learn few things themselves.
Thank you so much for the detailed and thoughtful answer, Dr. Raman. And with that, participant, it's time to wrap up this session. But as I promised, I have shared Dr. Raman's LinkedIn ID into the chat so that you can connect with him directly for any kind of query and any kind of guidance. I'm sure he would be happy to help you out. So, moving ahead, not keeping Dr. Raman and you guys all for a long time, just allow me a minute to share my screen. So, if you guys are ready to get certified into the learning and development, the certifications are available on our website now. In any of the domain of learning and development, your certification you're looking that are available, and we are also giving a complimentary coupon code to all of our participants, which will give you a 20% off for joining for opting this certification. So, if you want to get certified, check out our website, use the coupon code link, get 20% off, and get certified into the learning and development. So before wrapping up the session, I just wanted to make a quick announcement regarding the utility tool. So if you're on your job hunting journey, then this tool is for you. You can log in into utility tool by using your LinkedIn ID and password, and it will recommend the job designation you're targeting and the industry you're targeting. According to that, it will re-improvise your LinkedIn profile and stand out your resume in front of the HRs and recruiters. To make your job hunting journey a little bit easier, the help from GSDC, we are giving a complimentary coupon code to all of our participants, which will give you 100% off. But this offer is limited for a short time of period, so make sure you're taking the advantage of it. And all the best to all of the job hunters out there. So, as we had an amazing and impactful series of learning and development lab. So now this series is going to be end this week, and we are starting a new series of learning and development next week. That is learning and development webinar series, learning that works, turning skills, strategies, and talent into business value. And this is going to be happen from 23rd to 26th March at 10:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time, 11:30 p.m. Singapore time, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Indian time, and 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So I'm sharing the registration link into the chat. You can also check out our website and get yourself registered for this upcoming series of learning and development. So here is the link for you all. As we have also ended our ISO Leadership Reset series, and we are going to start the new series of Strategic ISO Practical Governance, AI Readiness, and Enterprise Risk in Action. So if you want to join for this webinar, the registration are open, and I'm sharing the link for this one as well into the chat box so that you can get certified directly. Otherwise, you can check out our website as well. So here is the link for ISO registration. And we have all ended our series of AI that deliver as well. And we have started a new series from the next week, that is Autonomous AI Agent Transforming Enterprise Operation. And this is also going to be conducted from 23rd to 26th March at 8:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time, 9:30 p.m. Singapore time, 7 p.m. Indian time, and 9:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I am sharing the registration link for this webinar as well. Otherwise, you can check out our website and get yourself registered for the upcoming webinars. So, with that, it's time to celebrate our Raffle champions. We have Bhanu Durgesh, Oluvaga, and B. Venkatesh. Special thanks to all three of you for helping us amplify our initiative and reach it to the wider global audience. You can also become one of our knowledge professional and advisors. What you have to do, if any of your peers, colleagues, and professional wants to join for this webinar or any other webinar, you can refer the registration link which you will find on our GSDC website. What's in it for you? So you will get a referral for your every reference. And once you hit a 50 referral point, you will be able to get a free $400 worth gift certification voucher. But as always, like other offers, this is also available for a very short time of period. So make sure you're taking the advantage of it and become one of our knowledge professional and advisors. We would love to have you in our community. Also, if you would like to be one of our speaker for learning capsules, webinar, and podcast for this session or any other session, we would love to have you on our platform. Please do reach out at pratibha@gsdccouncil.org and pritham@gsdccouncil.org. I have shared the email ID into the chat box so that you don't miss out. These are the vertical in which we do our partnership module. So the first vertical we have, that is B2C, direct to professional, retail individual certification. Second, we have channel reseller model, authorized training partner. Third, we have academic institutional relationship, accredited university academic partnership. And fourth, we have B2B, direct to organizations, enterprise partnership. So if you want to get partnered for any of the vertical, or if you'd like to inquiry regarding the business for any of the vertical, please do reach out on the spokesperson email ID given onto the slide. I have already shared the slide into the chat so that you don't miss out. Please let me know if you want to see it again. And these are the platform where you guys can connect with us. So I am going to hold this slide at least for 1 minute so that you can scan all of the QR code. Otherwise, if you want, I can share the slide into the chat as well after I'll unshare my screen. Meanwhile, I'm sharing all of the platform links so that you can stay connected on our Instagram, on our WhatsApp, on our YouTube channel, on our Twitter channel, and on our Facebook channel. So these are all of the platforms, and also we would love to hear your session key takeaways and learning outcomes. We would love to know what resonated most with you. So do drop your feedbacks and suggestions on reviews.io. With that, it's time to come to an end. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Raman, coming on our platform. Very honored to have you here today with us. Had a blast in your session. Looking forward to having you in the future session as well. Thank you so much to all of the participants for joining into our learning journey. I'm hoping to see you all next Monday. Till then, keep learning, keep energizing. Have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and a very happy weekend to all of you. Thank you so much, everyone.